Proverbs 9:10 says, "Whatever your hand finds to do, do it with all your might. For in the grave where you are going, there is neither working, nor planning, nor knowledge, nor wisdom." This is a great word for every single one of us. We need to live our lives with intention. If we do not, we're going to end up getting to the grave and not have accomplished what we desire to accomplish. And I've been with people as they died, and they never say, "I wish I would have made more money. I wish I had a bigger house." They'll say, "I wish I would have been a better husband. I wish I would have been a better mom." So if you're going to intentionally raise up good children, today is a great day to start. And it takes a lot of strength. I had a mom recently share with me, a mom of four, but her 18-year-old daughter is driving her a little crazy. She said, "I raised my kids so well, and she's always been such a joy. And now she's in college. And oh my goodness, Miss Violet, this is hard." I said, "Yes, I think the hardest challenge of being a parent is parenting young adults." But let's go back to where that all began. Raising young kids. It is not a sprint, it is a marathon. You're going to be doing this the rest of your life. So you need to have strength and you need to have determination. And very truthfully, you're going to need to build up endurance. And one of the ways that help you do that is to develop intentionality in the way that you are parenting. We talked already about the intention of handing your daughter to that guy at the altar and having her be a decent, honorable, mature, beautiful, and I do mean internally beautiful young woman, or having uh, your son standing at the altar and being a really good, responsible, respectable young person. But you're not going to get there in a day, and you aren't going to get there in a week, and you aren't going to get there in a year. You have to start today and intentionally decide, what kind of person is my child going to be? I want to tell you something. A lot of people are unwilling to admit this, but this is very crucial for all of us to understand. You are not handed a blank slate when someone puts your baby into your arms. They already have a personality. I can tell you, I've seen well over 7,500 babies born. There are type A's. They come out of there screaming and flailing and ready to get the world. There are type B's. They come out and they're just so calm. They're kind of looking around and, oh, so this is what the world looks like. They are not the same at birth. I'm not kidding you. And then you have ABs. They like scream and flail and then they kind of settle down and look around. It's really fascinating. And the more babies you encounter, the more hundreds or thousands of babies that one encounters in their career, the more you see. You are not given a blank slate. That baby already has a personality. That baby already has traits you are probably not going to change. Now, let me describe this to you. I always say it's like a coin. You have a head, you have a tail. That coin never loses its value, okay? It has the same value no matter what. But on one side, it looks entirely differently than it looks on the other side. So say that your child is a procrastinator by nature, never quite wants to get things done, always puts things off. You know, often the other side of a procrastinator is a perfectionist. They want everything done just right. They want everything to be nearly perfect. They don't want to do anything, and so they're not going to finish it until it is up to their standard. That is two sides of one coin. Let's talk about a kid who's sensitive. I mean, who has a really tender heart. Okay. All right. So you say to them, "I don't know what you were thinking when you did that." And they're like, "Oh, this massive faucet turns on and they're squalling and rubbing their eyes." I don't mean a kid who's kind of manipulative, like trying to get you to go on a guilt trip because they did wrong. I mean a child who really has a sensitive heart. And you're like, I'm not kidding though. You can't get away with that. You can't behave like that. But that very same kid, then when he sees a homeless person or someone in a wheelchair or a person who is less privileged than they're going to be that really tender-hearted, sensitive, gentle person who's going to give and show kindness and maybe make friends with that person. Every trait, it has two sides and it has a value. They're already born with a lot of those things. Sometimes those things are nothing like who you are. And so you have the joy and the challenge as a parent of finding out how to develop those traits in your child. And sometimes I confess it's minimizing the negative and accentuating the positive, and that really requires a lot of strength. It requires physical strength to be a parent. Any of you who've had a baby, I probably don't need to paint this picture for you. Comedians are better at it than I am. But that waking up 3 and 4 times a night with a baby who wants to eat, or a baby who's wet, or a baby who just wants your time and attention because finally you might have some to give them. You're not nearly as busy as you were during the daytime. They're going to scream and scream till you get up and walk into their room. That takes strength. It really takes strength to do this night after night, week after week, month after month. It really and truly does. It takes a lot of strength and endurance to be a parent. Let's put this into practical terms. If you were going to run a marathon, and I have to tell you, I can't imagine why anybody would put their body through that. I mean, I ran a lot when I was a kid and I was really good at it. And actually, I like to run and I still like to walk. But a marathon, honey, that's brutal. It is. I've watched those people puke their guts up and faint. And yeah, why would someone do that to themselves? Well, they do it to prove that they can. Guess what? I want to encourage you. You have to do this. I mean, you have a child, that baby needs care, that little one needs care, that teenager needs watch care. Okay, so you're going to do this. Let's do this well. And as that person begins, they strengthen their physical body. They nourish their physical body by eating correctly. They hydrate themselves. They start working out a little bit, strengthening the right muscles, and they have to start running. And they add to their time and they add to their endurance. That's what you have to do. Thank God you weren't born with a baby that's 21. That would have been painful and it would have been almost impossible to know what to do with them. You're gifted a baby and you get to grow through the process. But even if you don't have a child yet, I was talking to someone, she said she's working on this and learning things and she doesn't have a baby. Whether or not you have a child, or whether you have a baby, whether you have a toddler, or whether you have an elementary age child, I don't care how old your child is, starting today with intentionality, build up your strength and endurance so you can teach them. But ideally, if you're a young parent, this might be a lot of help to you. Determination in the mind. That's the first step. Everything we ever do, we picture it in our mind and then we go after it in reality. You have to picture in your mind that you do have what it takes to be a parent, and you are going to do what is necessary to be a good parent. And maybe even with the help of God, and I'll do my best to help you also, a great parent. That's going to take intentionality on your part. Okay, so if you intend to raise a child from the time they're a little one, what does that mean? Well, it means that you're going to put their needs above your own. I got to tell you, there is nothing about that that is easy. We are by nature, as human beings, all about ourselves. What do I like? What do I want to eat? What do I want to wear? What do I want to do with my life? I mean, this is who we are. And frankly, this is what we think about. This is what life looks like to us. I'll even prove it to you in marriage. Even people who really love each other, still a huge part of their focus is, I can't believe you just talked to me like that. I can't believe you didn't fill in your blank with any one of 1,000 things when I already told you that that's what I wanted you to do. Yeah, we are pretty self-centered as human beings. Then we have a child. You know what? We don't get to be self-centered anymore. We genuinely don't. Because that baby needs us at the most inconvenient times. And that baby needs things that really no one else is going to be capable of giving them, especially if you're a mom who's nursing a baby, you understand that right away. But also in terms of the kind of love and the kind of acceptance and even I'm going to use the word regard for them as a human being. No one is going to give that to them like we're going to give that to them. So you have to determine in your mind intentionally, okay, this is going to take a lot more than anything else I have ever done. And I am going to have to give and sacrifice and be selfless and give up my time and give up my own desires. I'm going to need to do some things that are going to be pretty uncomfortable if I'm going to be a great parent. Okay? That's a strong point of intention. And then you have to be determined to do this for the long haul. Everybody understands New Year's resolutions. I'm going to lose 50 pounds this year and I'm going to exercise every day. You know, the average person by January 17th, they're already over their New Year's resolution. Yeah, we human beings, we can have trouble with stick-to-itiveness. And with a child, this is a long haul. So, in your intentions, you have to determine I am going to do this and I am going to get better at this. I am going to get stronger at this. I'm going to be capable of going farther than I ever even dreamt or imagined. And so I intend to be a great parent and I'm in it for the long haul. And I'm going to keep doing the conditioning and the strengthening and the endurance parts of that. Do you know that some of that means you're going to need support and help? Of course, your co parent, your husband, your wife, they're going to be your strongest supporter. But some days you're both going to be tired. Some days you're both going to be crabby. Some days you're both going to be over it. Hopefully, somewhere in your world, you have parents or a really great friend or someone in a support group at church who's going to stand there for you on days when you're losing your mind and he's going to encourage you about your intention and purpose in doing this well. You got to have support. You're never going to do this all by yourself. Okay? So that's why a lot of times people have a teammate or a partner that they run with. You've got to have support. The rest of this that I want to encourage you about in this intentional story is you've got to intend to do what is best for your child. I really believe with all my heart that if you have a child, you have a child because you love them and you care about them and you have big dreams and aspirations for them. So, in looking at them intentionally, it is working out your own dreams for them as a person and then helping them to live out their dreams as they grow and develop. My challenge for you today is this: what do you intend to do as a parent? I want you to be brutally honest with yourself. Do you intend to keep living your life just like you always have? But oh, yeah, I have a kid. I mean, that's really okay, but you need to be honest about that. Do you intend to put some effort into it, but this just all sounds like too much work and I'm not sure that it's necessary? My kid will be fine. That's really okay. You need to be honest. Or do you intend to work yourself, if necessary, near death, in recognition that in the grave there is no work, in the grave there is nothing. And so it is in life that I must expend my strength, and I want to do it for the well being of my child. In that challenge, be honest with yourself and talk about what do you intend to do as a parent. And truthfully, if you feel like it, send me a note. Miss Violet, that all sounds great, but I'm not sure I'm up for it. Or I really want to do this. Can you tell me how do I develop this mindset? How do I get stronger? I'm really looking forward to hearing from you. And I hope today that as you raise your child with strong intention and purpose, that you find strength and joy in doing so. You may find additional information on our paintabeautifulpicture.com website. Additionally, you may watch me on Rumble, and you may also listen to a podcast on Buzzsprout or Spreaker, all under the name Paint a Beautiful Picture. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up. You may subscribe, and if you are interested in receiving notifications, please hit the notifications button.